From the Black and Missing Foundation, we would like to welcome to the show Natalie Wilson joins the conversation today. How are you doing today, Miss Wilson?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Thank you both.
Honor, we hear about Black and Missing so much, and we wanted to get the truth from you on what is actually going on with our people.
Well, I will say that this is a pandemic that is affecting our communities. And since 2008, we have been sounding the alarm that our Black and Brown people are missing at an alarming rate. When we first started the organization in May of 2008, close to 30% of all persons missing were of color. And that number has grown to 40% of all persons missing are of color. And we have seen an uptick since the pandemic, and especially in places like Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore. Definitely seeing a large number of our missing people.
Do you suspect that these people are kidnapped, or do you suspect these people are missing because they chose to run from home, human trafficking? What are you finding?
Well, people are missing for a number of reasons. Domestic violence, mental health issues. We do know that sex trafficking is a huge issue in our communities, and that is something that we have to deal with. We don't classify people who leave voluntarily as runaways because we don't know what they're running away from and ultimately what they're running to. We know that especially children, when they're reported missing or they leave home voluntarily, within 24 to 48 hours, they can be victims of sex trafficking.
Wow. So what number are we at right now? We hear these numbers all the time of Black and missing. What is the number right now?
Well, according to the FBI stats, there are more than 200,000 persons of color reported each year. And that's the key here, reported missing, because there are so many more who I'm sure are not, especially in the Hispanic community when there are some concerns about being deported.
Okay. So these people fall under the radar because they don't want to go to the police. They feel like they're going to get deported.
Exactly. So, we just have to be mindful that, there's so many, and within our communities, there's a sense of distrust with the minority community and law enforcement. So oftentimes they don't speak up or they don't report their loved one missing. So again, the key is over 200,000 reported missing, but we believe that the numbers are much higher.
Man. So what do your agency do?
Well, our nonprofit organization, what we do are a number of things. So we're an intake. Someone is reported missing. We ensure that a police report is on file. If it isn't, we help the families, work with law enforcement to file that police report. And then we utilize our media partnerships. We utilize social media to bring awareness to this missing individual. And awareness is key because it's important for a number of reasons. It alerts the community as to who's missing, and they're looking for them, so it greater the chance of a recovery. And it also forces law enforcement to add additional resources to the case. So we help the families oftentimes also with burial services. Everyone that's missing isn't coming back alive, and these families have exhausted all of their income or their revenue, and they don't have anything left. So we help with flyers, creation and distribution. Sometimes they want to have vigils, so we help with the creation of t-shirts and just a number of things. We are a support for this often voiceless group.
What about resources? Do the police department use the same amount of resources on finding our people as they do other ethnicities, other races?
You know what? We have come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. Oftentimes when our children are reported missing, they're classified as a runaway. So if you're classified as a runaway, you do not receive the Amber Alert or any type of media coverage. So that's why it's so important to have partnerships with law enforcement and the media to help us find our missing individuals and to bring them home.
You wanted me to put this up on the screen. This young lady from Detroit. What can you tell us about her situation?
So Amaria Hall was 16 years old when she disappeared from Trenton, Michigan. We know that she's a victim of sex trafficking. There have been some sightings of her, and she appears to be very lucid, sluggish, maybe not in character. And we're just trying to find her and bring her home to her mother, who's desperately searching for her. And, it's a sad fact that so many of our children are meeting these predators online and they're taking advantage of them. So that's why we ask parents, especially now that we're pretty much working from home or homeschooling, be mindful as to what your child is doing online and who they're interacting with, especially with these apps.
Go ahead, Big Rob.
Wow, I'm just looking at the young lady, and she's been missing a whole, almost 2 years now.
Yeah, almost 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Wow. Are you getting the proper publicity? Are the networks, the major networks, are the social networks, are they playing a role in helping recover these missing individuals?
I will say that our Black press have really stepped up to the plate for us. We've had a number of media partnerships with the Huffington Post, with Essence, Ebony, a lot of the Black press outlets, but we still have a long way to go as far as mainstream media. And I would ask any of your listeners or followers to name 3, Black or brown men or women or boys and girls that have gone missing and have gotten mainstream coverage. And I'm sure that, they can't name any. So we do have much more work to do. And we just have to keep fighting for our missing, because these are moms, they're dads, they're grandparents, they're children, they're our neighbors. And, our community, they believe that this issue is happening abroad, but sex trafficking is happening in our communities, in our backyards. Our people are disappearing at an alarming rate.
Now, there are also Black men, boys who are missing.
Absolutely. And when we first started the organization, the largest demographic of missing persons were Black men. However, there's a stereotype that they're impoverished or they're criminals or involved with some type of criminal activity or drug related, and their cases aren't taken seriously. So that's why they aren't shown as much, or their stories aren't told as much in the media, because there's that stereotype, and we're trying to break those doors down.
We want to share a story on your website from a person that we covered. They're from our home city. We know their family, Big Rob. You remember when she went missing, we had her family members on the radio talking about this. Do you know anything about Danica Deshae Walker? Have you had any leads on this?
No, none at all. And she's been missing since 2010.
Yes.
So 2010, yes. So no leads at all. So I'm not sure. Have you all heard anything? What is the family saying?
They haven't said anything to us in a while. There was some concerns of her possibly being in the Chicago area, but I don't know if they had any news, any correspondence. We just remember them being on radio, and we was trying to push this story out to the public. And it hits home when we went to the website and you see somebody that you know.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's another thing that we're realizing. Unless it's personal to you, people aren't taking this seriously. I'm sure you all remember the firestorm in DC in 2016, where people were outraged that so many girls were going missing. And then once the narrative changed and it didn't really affect certain people, the story was forgotten. But we have to keep our missing in the forefront, because someone knows something, and we want to give these families hope to not give up.
Man, it is so many black people missing. Natalie, you just go to any state and you see all these beautiful pictures, images, and they all have a story.
They do.
It's unbelievable.
But, you know, yeah, it takes all of us. We all have to collectively do something, and that includes law enforcement, the media, and our community. We all have to step up. And we know that there's a sense of distrust between the minority community and law enforcement. But if any of your listeners have information about a missing person, we have an anonymous. If they can reach out to us and let us know, we can, help bring that missing individual home.
Whew. I'm gonna scan down Florida. I just went to Florida. Of course, we're in Orlando, and just looking at these images, I even see someone here, a 14-year-old, and a 28-year-old from Orlando. I saw an older lady who was like 83 years old, 85 years old, missing since 1974 in Clearwater. A 42-year-old missing since 2010 in Jacksonville. And then I think I saw an 83-year-old in Orlando. What do you think is happening? What do you think have happened? Have these people just changed their name, or what are your thoughts?
Well, some of these cases, like Shrakita, the one with the graduation cap on, we believe that was a domestic violence matter. Some of the elderly that you mentioned suffered from Alzheimer's or dementia, and they're known to walk away from their caretakers. So we believe that happened as well. There's one young lady, I forget her name, but you just showed her. She was pregnant by an older man, and apparently she stepped out of her door to talk to him and never came back. So there's so many reasons why people of color are disappearing. But as a community, we can, help bring awareness to this issue and help us find us.
Wow. Do you, I know we got to go in a few minutes. Can you give us some success stories?
Absolutely. We have quite a few of them. Since we have been in existence, we have helped find or resolve over 300 cases. And the one that comes to mind is there was a young lady by the name of Kennedy High who went missing out of Baltimore, Maryland, and she was a victim of sex trafficking. And we had a partnership with a radio station similar to this, and the radio station shared her missing persons profile, and the Uber driver saw her, contacted us, we contacted the FBI, and she was able to be recovered from being trafficked. And sadly, she indicated that there were more girls there, but they, weren't able to be rescued. They were moved from that facility or that location before the FBI got there. So we're glad that you're using your platform to bring awareness to this issue, and it can save a life or many lives.
Wow. You make me think about the situation in Cleveland, which this man had these women locked up. And,
oh, yes. Yeah,
had them.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is it's unbelievable. There's so many beautiful folks are just missing and have not been heard from. And what is the number they should dial? Of course, you want them to call the police, but how can they reach you guys?
So we asked them to visit our website at bamfi.org, and it has all of our information there, including social media. We issue alerts every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, and we would like the community to not only look and like these profiles or these missing persons flyers, but to share it within your network, because someone knows something and it can help recover a missing person or provide closure for their family.
Rob, you got anything how we scroll down this list of beautiful people missing from the state of Michigan?
Wow. I'm looking at the list and I'm just in awe. I didn't know it was, even though I'm in the media, didn't know it was that many African Americans missing. It's wow.
Yeah, we get Amber Alerts all the time. And none of these people have we gotten Amber Alerts about.
No.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
That's unreal.
So
Thank
what I would
you.
like to do, if you don't mind, I'll put you all on the spot. If we have any missing people from the Michigan area or within, your network, do you mind if I send it to you and you all can share it on your platform,
Sure,
bring
sure.
awareness?
Michigan and Florida and Central Florida. That we in both locations. Wow. I mean, look at these beautiful faces, family. Beautiful faces.
And what's so tripped out about it, most of them are women or
Yeah.
little girls.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Never heard of. This young
Yep.
lady been missing for almost 2 years, 18 years old. They seem to be small in stature. Man, what role you think black men need to play in this whole thing? Because, when you hear some of these stories, you hear about, and I worked in a female prison, and a lot of the women who end up going to prison, generally there was some kind of connection with a black man.
Mm-hmm.
What role should we play in protecting our queens?
Well, I think that, respect, and just, when I think about the media with sex trafficking, where they don't normally show these cases, are they protecting, or who are they protecting? Is it the men that are buying these, children or women, or are they protecting the institution of sex trafficking, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry? But I think we all have a role to play in protecting our community and finding those that are missing. So it's not only our men, but our children, and our women. And it takes a village. I mean, that's, something that we say in our communities all the time. It takes a village to protect and to take care of our communities.
This young kid been missing since December 29th of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Only 14 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, a lot of our young girls and boys too are meeting people online that they think are their friends. I mean, we're in this world of social media, and I'm not sure if you all have children or grandchildren.
Yes.
And we ask
Both.
you to do both. Okay. What we ask you to do is try to friend them on social media anonymously. And you'll be surprised how they would become comfortable with you and then start to share personal information with you. And you can use that as an opportunity to start the conversation. You really need to be mindful as to what you're doing on social media or who you're interacting with. So that's just something that we share with parents. Befriend your child on Facebook, social media, Instagram, Snapchat, and see what information they'll share with you.
This lady,
Remember, it's
girl,
a grooming process.
this young lady was last seen on November the 15th, 15 years old, city of Detroit, at about 2:30 a.m. at her grandmother's residence on Pasadena Street in Detroit. She went missing and have not been seen since then. All right, family, go to the website, blackandmissinginc.com. Of course, you need donations, right? You need help because it costs money to do all this.
Absolutely. So the organization is founded by myself and my sister-in-law. We do not take a salary from this at all. And all donations that we receive go back to helping the families.
What made you start this?
There is a young lady by the name of Tamika Houston who went missing from my sister-in-law's hometown of Spartanburg, South Carolina. And we read how her family really struggled to get any type of media coverage at all. And weeks later, Natalie Holloway went missing. And I'm sure when I said her name, you know who she is. And, her family begged the media to please, especially mainstream media, can you please cover the story? Because Tamika could have been anywhere. And we decided, you know what? After we did some research and saw the high numbers, we can make a difference because I'm in public relations and Derek is in law enforcement. And those are the two critical professions needed to help us find our missing.
All right, I know you got to go. We got to make this a regular series on our program.
Thank you
Touch
so much. And maybe we can have some families come on and they can tell you their stories.
Let's do
And
that.
talk about their missing loved ones.
Let's do that. And we're going to reach out to our other media partners. I did not know it was that many people missing.
I didn't either. That's why I couldn't say nothing for real. You scrolling through the thing, and I'm sitting there like, what?
Generally, it's easy for us to interview people. This is very hard because me and Big Rob ourselves, we are giving our lives to our youth and hoping that they will have a better life than us and they see these situations. Man, we gotta be paying attention.
Right. And can I say one thing before I leave?
Yes, ma'am.
The numbers are increasing since the pandemic. So you would think because it's a pandemic, we're at home, we would see less, reports, but the numbers are increasing.
Sadly, so. All right, keep us on redial, okay? Add us to that favorite list. So
absolutely,
we got to keep in contact. We want to highlight at least once a month. We got to highlight our Black and Missing at least.
Good. Yes.
All
Thank you. Thank you
Nelly.
both.
Appreciate
so
you.
Thank you.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.